President Trump is facing criticism for backing Saudi Arabia, despite intelligence that reportedly shows the Saudi crown prince may have directed the murder of columnist Jamal Khashoggi. Mr. Trump stated, quote, "It could very well be that the crown prince had knowledge of this tragic event. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. In any case, our relationship is with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia." CBS News senior national security contributor Michael Morell is a former deputy and acting director of the CIA. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. What do you make of both the president's position and the fact that he put it in a press release?
There's a long history of U.S. presidents putting priority on national security and strategic relationships over human rights and democratic freedoms. President Obama did that in 2013 with the coup in Egypt, where he refused to call it a coup so that he wouldn't have to cut off all aid, right? He did it much more elegantly than President Trump just did it. And this is an important relationship with the Saudis. But what I would have suggested to the president is that you do need to put some sort of sanctions on Saudi Arabia to send a message that you cannot get away with something like this, but not so many sanctions that you break the relationship. So you find the right balance. The president did not do that here.
What message does this send, though, to folks inside the CIA and folks that the CIA is potentially trying to recruit when the president so publicly seems to distance himself from their findings? And this isn't the first time.
The unfortunate thing is that this is public, right? That somebody leaked the CIA judgment and then it became a public discussion. Usually these things aren't discussed publicly. There are plenty of times where presidents disagree with the analysis that's presented to them. When I was briefing President Bush every morning, he would frequently say, "Michael, I disagree with this," and then we would discuss it. So it's just usually not public. So what's important here is that the CIA continue to put its view forward. One of the important things to me here is not the judgment about whether MBS was involved, but what did the CIA tell the president about the implications of no sanctions, of letting him get away with it, versus the implications of putting some sort of sanctions on to send a message? That's the analysis that I'd like to see.
But Michael, what message does it send? Because I think a lot of people are struggling with this. That a person can be lured to the embassy, that you can be hacked up, you can be slaughtered, that the ally can lie about it, and that we will still stand by that ally. What message does that send to the world? And what's to prevent this from happening again?
So I think it sends the wrong message. What the president did sends the wrong message, right? And that's why I'm fully in support of some sort of sanctions that sends a message to MBS. And by the way, behind the scenes, back channel, I would say to him, this is strike one. And in this game of baseball, there are only 2 strikes. So if you do this again, we're going to be in a very different place. So I do think it's important to send a message that people can't get away with this, and that's why I would have done some sort of sanctions.
But implicit in the president's remarks is that you can strike 2 and 3, you're still going to get away with it because, and here's what I want to focus on, Iran. Yeah. Basically, the president's saying Iran is the big game here, and yes, this is bad, but let's keep our eye on the most national security ball. Iran. So is that right? Does he have it right in terms of the primacy of the Iranian threat that Saudi Arabia is helping the U.S. with?
So I think there's 2 critical aspects to our strategic relationship with Saudi Arabia. One is Iran. Iran does want to be the hegemonic power in the Middle East, and we need to push back against that, and we need the Saudis to help us. The second is we need societal and religious reform in Saudi Arabia in order to dampen extremism that continues to flood the world.
Well, as of now, it looks like MBS will be at the G20 next week. We'll see if the 2 leaders do meet. Michael, we would always love to have you more, but people can listen to your podcast, Intelligence Matters, for more on this issue and so many other important matters.
Good to see you all.
Happy holidays. Thank you.